The truth behind the Feldenkrais method activates neuroplasticity, transforming trauma into creative power. 3 specific points in your body keep you trapped in a diminished version of your life. Places that conventional medicine doesn't even consider. While traditional therapies dig through the mind in search of answers, the real prison lies crystallized in neuromotor patterns that repeat with every breath, every gesture, and every failed attempt at change. A revolutionary physicist uncovered hidden codes of physical transformation through movements that seem insignificant, yet awaken neurological circuits that have been dormant for decades. Microvariations as small as 2 millimeters can rewrite traumatic memory directly at the source where it became frozen in the first place. What you are about to experience breaks through chains that no conventional approach can reach, releasing vital energy trapped in layers your conscious mind has never accessed. When these 3 key areas are reorganized through activated neuroplasticity, your creative power does not simply become a concept, it becomes an embodied reality. Get ready to feel, in your own body, the difference between carrying trauma and transforming it into fuel for your creative presence. The secret lies in the discovery that your nervous system can distinguish between thousands of subtle variations of the same movement, and each distinction opens up a new neural pathway available for conscious choice. Moshe Feldenkrais, the physicist who revolutionized our understanding of physical learning, revealed that when you explore micro differences in seemingly simple movements, the brain literally rebuilds the maps that govern posture, breathing, and presence. This is somatic education in its purest form, teaching the body to sense new options where once there was only automatic, defensive behavior. The 3 movements you are about to explore work as master keys that unlock specific neurological circuits. The first resets the relationship between your diaphragm and solar plexus, dissolving patterns of emotional collapse. The second dismantles the thoracic armor that shields your heart from authentic connection. The third releases cervical tensions that keep your voice and creative expression trapped. Each sequence activates neuroplasticity through variations so subtle that your defense system doesn't perceive them as threats, allowing deep reorganization without resistance. When these 3 axes come together, traumatic patterns crystallized over decades dissolve into energy now available for conscious creation. You won't just understand this transformation intellectually, you will feel, in a visceral way, the difference between a body weighed down by limitations and a body that embodies infinite possibilities, where each movement becomes an expression of your most authentic, creative power. The work of Feldenkrais revealed an extraordinary convergence between modern scientific discoveries and the wisdom preserved by esoteric traditions through specific bodily practices. Mystery schools understood the body as a living repository of consciousness, where each movement pattern carries information that goes beyond personal experience. The Hermetic principle, as above, so below, finds literal validation in the discovery that microscopic changes in movement can reorganize the entirety of human experience. Neuroplasticity confirms this ancient knowledge. The brain is constantly restructuring itself through conscious experience, creating new neural connections that replace limiting circuits. Stephen Porges, through the polyvagal theory, showed how the vagus nerve coordinates survival responses that become fossilized into defensive postural patterns, keeping the body in a state of constant alert. Conscious microvariations of movement generate multiple perceptual distinctions, allowing the nervous system to access more sophisticated neural pathways. This dissolves protective automatism and activates circuits of creation and social connection. The alchemy described by ancient masters as the transmutation of dense elements into refined substances finds its modern expression in the neural reorganization guided by embodied awareness, where each subtle gesture acts as a key that unlocks dormant layers of creative power at the cellular level. The first somatic code works at the epicenter where emotional trauma becomes crystallized, the connection between the sternum, the diaphragm, and the pelvis, a neurological triangle that determines whether you live in a survival body or a creative one. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet grounded as if rooted into the earth. Let your hands rest gently over your sternum, not to control, but simply to witness. The gateway opens when you stop trying to fix your breathing and instead observe how it moves through you. Invite micro-rolls of the pelvis movements, so subtle they feel almost imaginary. Millimetric waves that speak directly to the diaphragm. Repeat 6 to 8 times, followed by generous pauses, where true learning takes place. During these pauses, your nervous system integrates perceptual distinctions, recalibrating neural connections that govern emotional states. Gently shift the direction of your gaze to the right, to the left, to the center, noticing how each eye position transforms the quality of your breathing and the sensation in your solar plexus. This axis holds memories of collapse, visceral fear, and disconnection from your vital power. When the sternum and pelvis learn to communicate through conscious micromovements, defensive patterns dissolve, and the solar plexus begins to release, freeing trapped energy that becomes fuel for your creative presence. The goal goes beyond stretching or strengthening. It is about refining the coordination between neurological centers that determine whether you breathe like a victim or like the creator of your own vibrational reality. The second code works within the thoracic fortress, where the heart has armored itself against relational wounds, the shoulder blades that became permanent shields, and the eyes that lost the ability to meet the world with a sense of safety. Stay in the same position, arms extended alongside your body, palms facing down like antennas, picking up subtle information from the ground. Gently explore microscopic gliding of one shoulder blade at a time, as if it were trying to listen to the weight of your own body pressing into the earth. Do not force the range. Allow each shoulder blade to move just a few millimeters in directions that naturally unfold. Pair this with micro-eye rotations. When the right shoulder blade moves, gently invite the eyes to follow in the same direction. Then experiment with the opposite eyes moving one way while the shoulder blade moves the other. This coordination between gaze and scapula rewires neurological circuits that have operated in defensive isolation for years. During the pauses essential for neural integration, notice how lateral breathing begins to emerge, expanding ribs that had remained frozen in constant vigilance. Let organic sighs come when they arise, without forcing, simply honoring your nervous system's need to release accumulated tension. This axis holds memories of rejection, betrayal, and the need to protect the heart through thoracic rigidity. When the shoulder blades and eyes relearn fluid coordination, the armor begins to loosen. The ventral branch of the vagus nerve, responsible for safe social connection, begins to function again, allowing the chest to open without excessive vulnerability, and restoring the capacity to meet others with presence instead of defense. The third code dissolves the cervical prison where the authentic voice was silenced, and creative expression became crystallized in perpetual tension. Place the tip of your tongue gently against the roof of your mouth, creating a subtle anchor that organizes the entire cervical chain. Roll your head a few degrees to one side and then the other, as if the natural weight of the head were guiding the movement, never using force, always moving with curiosity. Introduce micro-releases of the jaw, a drop of just 1 or 2 millimeters during the roll. observing how the hyoid bone and the entire throat respond with immediate relief. Imagine a horizontal line at eye level, and keep this spatial reference while your head and jaw explore subtle variations in positioning. Pause between each micro-movement, allowing your nervous system to reconfigure the neural patterns that govern spatial orientation and vocal expression. Vary the sequence. At times, release the jaw first, then roll the head. At other times, reverse the order, discovering how different sequences create unique perceptual distinctions. This cervical complex stores memories of silencing, shame around one's own voice, and blockages in expressing personal truth. When the coordination between head, jaw, and gaze is reorganized through activated neuroplasticity, the larynx is freed from defensive contractions. The vagus nerve finds its natural regulation, and the voice emerges not as a forced sound, but as the organic vibration of creative power pulsing through every cell. Clarity of spatial orientation returns. Lightness in the back of the neck is restored, and the ability to express truth without fear is reintegrated as a natural function of the embodied self. Lydia carried decades of embodied silence, shoulders rounded in constant protection, breathing that never dropped below her chest, and a voice that emerged as a whisper, even when it needed to be heard. Outwardly, she was a successful somatic therapist, yet she inhabited a body that recoiled at every confrontation, every moment that called for full presence. 3 months of exploring the somatic codes transformed not only her posture, but the very quality of her existence. The first movement unlocked the breath trapped in her solar plexus for the first time in years. Air reached her pelvis, bringing with it a sense of grounding she had long forgotten. The second code dissolved the thoracic armor that had guarded her heart since childhood. Her shoulder blades learned to glide. Her chest opened without excessive vulnerability, and the ability to meet others' eyes returned as a natural function. The third movement freed the authentic voice that had been trapped in her throat. Words began to flow with effortless, organic authority, free of fear. Today, Lydia lives in a body that breathes creation instead of survival, that moves with a natural, energetic dignity, where each gesture expresses an embodied creative power. Her transformation was not emotional or mental, it was cellular, a complete reorganization of how she inhabits space and interacts with life. The most common resistance comes from the belief that deep transformation must match the intensity of the trauma. How can such subtle movements possibly dissolve pain? I've carried for decades. Neurological truth turns that logic upside down. Conscious microvariations reach layers that intense techniques can never access, simply because they bypass the body's defense systems. When you push, the body perceives threat and contracts even more. When you explore subtlety, the nervous system softens its vigilance and allows genuine reorganization. Neuroplasticity works through refined distinctions, not brute force. Every microscopic difference you notice creates new neural options available for conscious choice. True power lies in the ability to influence the nervous system through precision rather than force, like a whisper that passes through walls no scream could break down. Trust your body's wisdom. It responds to gentle curiosity with openness and to subtle exploration with lasting transformation. The 3 codes work precisely because they honor the organic intelligence that knows how to tell the difference between authentic change and external imposition. You've just discovered that true transformation doesn't come through force, but through precision, not through intensity, but through refined awareness that reaches layers brutality could never touch. The 3 somatic codes revealed a truth that few truly understand. Your body holds the key to rewriting any limiting pattern. And that key operates through distinctions so subtle they may seem insignificant to an inattentive eye. Moshe Feldenkrais once said, "Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets." And today, you've learned that your body is the most sophisticated laboratory for transformation that exists. Each conscious micro-movement functions like a silent prayer, dissolving traumatic crystallizations and freeing vital energy that was trapped in defensive patterns, made invisible by repetition. Your breath is not just a gas exchange, it's a portal between states of consciousness. Your shoulders don't just carry physical weight, they hold memories that can be rewritten. Your voice is not just sound, it is vibration that expresses the embodied truth of your creative power. Trauma is no longer a life sentence, it becomes raw material for building a presence that honors the energetic dignity that has always been yours by right. You didn't learn techniques today. You rediscovered the ancestral language your body has always spoken, but that you had forgotten how to hear. Now, every conscious gesture becomes an act of freedom. Every deep breath is an affirmation of power. Every subtle movement a silent revolution against everything that ever tried to diminish the greatness of your embodied existence. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps us expand this field of somatic transformation even further. I'd love to know how you feel neuroplasticity activating in your body. Drop a comment below saying, "I activate the neuroplasticity that transforms trauma into creative power." That affirmation seals your presence on the path of somatic awareness. Share this video with someone you know needs to rediscover the truth of the Feldenkrais method and awaken the hidden power that lives within their own body. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformative video from this channel. With each code activated, you move closer to the reality you were born to manifest. Remember, when the body becomes a portal for consciousness, limitation is no longer your destiny. It's simply a memory that can be rewritten.